As a postpartum mom trying to heal their diastasis recti, it can be hard to filter through all these advices that you get from the internet and people around you. From breathing to core engagement to what exercises to avoid, it can be overwhelming and counterproductive. So after helping over 500 moms to heal their diastasis recti, I wanted to share with you 5 tips of bad advices that you should avoid today, starting with number 1. Diastasis recti healing won't be fast. They will say that healing diastasis recti will take 9 months, 12 months, and even up to 18 months. And in some cases, it can be that extreme. But what I think the reason behind the physio are saying this is that they just want to bring you back to the clinic. They want to keep you coming back, check on you, and see how you're doing, and just keep, this, right? What I'm trying to say, and I'm not bashing about the physiotherapist industry, because I understand that they are in high demand. Women's health physio and physio who are specialized in diastasis recti, for some reason, it's really hard to find. So they can't have you keep going back every day, not like a trainer where they might even see you 3 to 4 times a week. But with physio, you probably, and I have been there myself, I went there once a week or once every 2 weeks. And later on, it was even just once a month. And every time I go there, they will, maybe it's a 30 to 45 minute sessions. They will check on your diastasis, take a look at some of your exercises, and give you a PDF handout and go home and you do the exercises on your own. So it's really slow process. They will give you just 2 to 3 exercises and you go home and do it. A lot of the time you lose that motivation because these exercises are quite boring, to be honest. It's also a reason why it's taking so long for you to heal, because you're not motivated enough to do these exercises consistently. And even so, these are very basic exercises that are just not enough to move the needle forward fast enough for you to heal faster. Now, if you see a case here, you see Kathy, my client, at 3 months postpartum. She had a really difficult emergency C-section. So when she came to me at 3 months postpartum, you could see her belly is bulging out as if she was still 6-7 months pregnant. You can see her belly there. And so that's when we first day started. I did an assessment with her. I give her homework on exercises, nutrition as well, inside my app, and you can see her journey. You can see that significant difference in terms of diastasis recti healing. There's a reduction in the gap and the depth of the diastasis recti. If you haven't checked your gap and the depth, I would highly recommend you to do really super simple self-check to see how wide and how deep your diastasis recti is. So that's your starting point. And so you can see the journey can be fast and can be measurable. But if you were to go to a physio, again, I'm not bashing them, but it's just like it's so slow. The progress is so slow, and that's why they tell you, oh, it won't be fast. Bad advice number 2, diastasis recti can only be healed through surgery. Oh, every time I hear this from moms or from my own clients that their doctor advice is to advise them to do surgery. And they are not the only one. I personally experienced this myself when I asked about what's going on with my stomach after my baby. I was around 6 weeks postpartum at that time, and she was like, yeah, I think you have diastasis recti, you can just go do a surgery. She just brushed off as if surgery was the only option, as if like, okay, you just need to do surgery, no big deal. But I didn't want a surgery. Who wants a surgery? Seriously. Take a look at all of these clients that I've helped through healing their diastasis recti. They all have various degree of DR, from 1 to 2 fingers all the way up to 6-7 fingers gap, and some of them even have a whole finger depth. And you can see they all have a much flatter tummy. They all have closed their diastasis recti to a certain degree, and some completely heal. So it's so totally possible to heal DR without surgery. Now let me share with you this article that Dr. Sarah Doval talked about, and she's a mentor of mine, and she is a renowned physical therapist in women's health and also a dedicated physio for diastasis recti. In this article, she asked, can a diastasis recti be healed without a surgery? And her answer is maybe, but you won't know until you give it your best effort. I want you to keep in mind that there's no time limit for healing. I've seen women who are 20 years postpartum and are able to fully heal and close their diastasis recti. Once you give your body the right movement pattern that it needs and progressively challenge under a load, it will start to respond. And I have seen this over and over again too in my clients. Doctor told them that surgery is the only option. Not really, because they came to me and they start healing and they start to get back in shape and have a much flatter tummy. So it's totally possible. Now there are cases that surgery is needed, and as Dr. Sarah said here best, she said not everyone can heal their diastasis recti. Sometimes the damage to the fascia is just too great. But down here below, surgery doesn't change pattern or strengthen muscles. It only tightens fascia. So even with surgery, you still need to work on pressure management strategies and learn how to load well through your core. So what she meant here, even with the surgery, yes, it would just sew everything back together, but you still need to exercise in order for you to use your core properly. Without the right exercise strategy, you can actually be hurting yourself more even after the surgery because you don't know how to use your core properly. So surgery is not the only option. It's one of the options, one of the solutions. But I would always say, and I totally is in agreement with Dr. Sarah here, you don't know until you try, and definitely don't be the surgery be your first option. Try the exercises, try nutrition, try all these things, posture exercises first for you to start healing. And if you try long enough and you're not seeing changes, and you're feeling very frustrated at that time because you have tried enough, yeah, I think that at that time you can consider surgery, because at that time you know how to exercise properly, you know how to lower your core pressure and pressure manage. Now, some of the exercises that you can start with is breathing exercises. I have a 360 breathing exercises. Don't skip this exercises if you're trying to start healing your diastasis recti. Breathing exercises is the foundational piece of your work. A lot of people think no big deal about breathing. What's such a big deal? But it is a very important part of your healing journey. So start that from that exercises. And also I would recommend you to watch how to engage your core properly, because if you're not engaging your core properly, which is right after breathing, you are not going to be using that core muscles, right? We need to heal the diastasis recti, and in order for you to heal, because it's right at the core, you need to learn how to engage your core. So those two are the very first exercises that you need to start. And once you master, and once you're getting a good handle of all the breathing and in core engagement, then you wanted to load. Loading means challenging yourself, challenging your core to do more intensified exercises. That is challenging yourself to a limits where, okay, you can still handle it, but it's like just about coning and having a lot of pressure in your system, but you're still able to manage it and you're feeling shaky. And those are good challenges for you. And as long as you're not feeling pain anywhere, no pressure down there in your pelvic floor, these are called loading, right? We're loading more into your core. And so that's exactly what you wanted to do here. You don't need a surgery. Bad advice number 3 to healing your diastasis recti, which is using M-Skull or Q-Scalding or a machine that is promising that it will help you to heal. And that is not true. There's no scientific evidence and research to support that these machines will help you to heal your diastasis recti. Now with wrapping, Benkin wrapping or belly binding or wrapping in the beginning of your postpartum journey can be helpful as your body is trying to heal on its own. But you cannot just rely on the wrap or the machine to help you to heal the diastasis recti. Certain degree of exercises is needed to pair it up together to help you to heal. Now with the machine, it's mostly really just for fat reductions and muscles toning, and those have some benefits, and that's why some people will see a reduction in their tummy because of the tightening of the muscles and maybe helping you with reducing the fat, but it doesn't really address the underlying issues of your ab separation. Now look at this research here, last updated in August 8, 2023 by Heather Hall. While the optimum treatment of diastasis recti has not been determined, most sources recommend conservative management with lifestyle modifications, weight loss, physiotherapy as their first line of treatment for bothersome diastasis recti. So exercise, like I mentioned earlier, with breathing, core engagement, and especially when it comes to healing DR, a lot of people are afraid that, oh, they're not doing the exercises correctly. They're afraid that they could do more damage than good. And so you really wanted to watch out for if you're coning. If your stomach is making a coning shape or doming shape, and that is some indicator to tell you that, oh, you know what, the exercise might be a little bit too difficult for you. You should modify a bit more. So check that video out about how to manage your doming video here after this video, and you'll learn more about how to manage it yourself. So let's not rely on these machines to help you to heal. Actually save your money and put this money toward you investing in your own health by exercising, by changing your lifestyles and incorporating good nutrients into your body. Bad advice number 4, avoid doing sit-up, cardios, plank, and crunches. Now, if you had your first baby a few years ago, you will find a lot of articles like that. Avoid doing this, avoid doing that, avoid doing crunches, sit up, all of that, it will worsen, it will split open. Because about 10-15 years ago, there are little research about diastasis recti. When there are research done, the researcher often treat diastasis recti as an injury, acute injuries. So they are trying to heal it by a conservative management where, okay, maybe they're trying to do exercises that is wrapping and pulling the muscles back together into the midline. By you doing crunches and sit up, it can actually stretches the tissue outward and you're pulling the gap away. And so that's why they suggest you not to do all of those exercises from research, and that's why people are saying do not do those exercises. But these days, there are a lot more research coming out in the recent last 5 years or so about diastasis recti. It's actually not bad if you were to do crunches or sit up. Simply put, if you were to cough and sneeze, the pressure that is generated in your core when you when you achoo, like breathing into the belly, those pressures are actually larger than if you were to doing sit up, to do plank. Those pressure will cause your stomach to dome more, creating more effect on pushing the stomach out than if you were to do a crunch and sit up. So if you consistently trying to avoid these exercises, but when these exercises are actually useful for you because they're challenging enough for you and you're not doing them, then you're actually not gonna help you to heal faster or like actually get you to the next level. Versus somebody who are maybe at the beginning stage of their healing journey, they haven't really done anything and they have a pretty bad diastasis recti. If they go ahead and do these crunches and plank, most likely it's just way too challenging for them because they haven't grasped the basic of breathing, core engagement, and loading their core step by step first. I am telling you this because I am telling you from first-hand experience, because I never knew I had diastasis recti after my first baby. And so I went in thinking that it's a lot of baby fats in me, I wanted to lose the weight, and so I did all these crazy HIIT workouts that is super hard, and I thought that, oh, you know what? That's what people do to lose weight, right? I wanted to get back into my pre-baby shape, and I thought that belly fat was just belly fat, not diastasis recti. So I did all of that, and I knew now when I look back, I definitely had worsened my diastasis recti because I did not pay attention to coning. I did not pay attention to some of the symptoms, like I had back pain and some leaking that after my exercises. And if I had known these, I definitely should have stopped. So you're lucky you're watching this video. I hope you got some tips out of it. So let's move on to number 5, and which is the final tip and very important tip for you here, is that it doesn't need to take 9 months for you to heal your diastasis recti. You know how some people give you the advice, oh, it takes 9 months to have a baby, it will take 9 months to heal. No, it doesn't. Now, when people say that, they often mean well, because they see that you're not happy with your body, so they will say, you know what, give yourself grace. You know, you took 9 months to heal your baby, it will take some time for you to heal. Now, for me, I say that if you're really truly not happy with the way you look and you wanted to get back how you were before baby, don't miss your golden window. The golden window to heal your DR, in my opinion, just after helping with over 500 clients, is within about first 6 months of your postpartum. Within a year, I would say. But the first 6 months would be critical to healing because your body is trying to heal on its own. Especially the first 6 weeks postpartum, your body is trying to heal rapidly. So that's why some people at around 6 weeks postpartum, their diastasis recti disappear. They might have it in the first week, but they don't have it anymore at 6 weeks, even though they didn't do anything. Now, if you are really just waiting there for 9 months, 9 months in, 9 months out, you are really missing that window to help yourself to heal. Because at around 3 months postpartum, and that's a lot of my clients come to me at around 3 to 4 months postpartum, their body still, if their body still look like they were on the first week after they gave birth, it's not gonna magically heal on its own anymore. Like at a really much slower pace, I would say. It's not gonna just poof, one day they get up in the morning and the belly is gone. They have to intervene with exercises, lifestyle changes, and nutrition. So I mean, we're all moms here. You know, I understand that we don't really have time to do a lot of the changes, but small, meaningful changes is definitely something that you can incorporate, like walking, drinking enough liquid and water, nutrition, eating the right balance nutrients for you to nourish your body, some more protein, so that you can build the muscles, repair the connective tissues, exercises, simple exercises that you can do lying on the bed with your baby. And these are the things that you can incorporate, especially your busy mom with your toddler and baby. So, but I would say that the earlier you do it, the faster you will heal and the faster you can get back in shape and you'll feel a lot better. And at that time, your toddler is running around and you have the energy to chase them around too. You're more capable than you think. Now go check out this video here where I talked about coning and diastasis recti pressure management earlier. Check this video out and I'll see you there.